When Jon Jones was asked about grappling Daniel Cormier at RAF, Jones revealed he's dealing with severe arthritis in his left hip and simply isn't willing to risk making it worse. He said preserving his mobility and being able to live a normal life matters more to him now than proving anything on the mat. In other heavyweight news, talk is heating up around a possible interim title fight between Ciryl Gane and Alex Pereira. With Tom Aspinall's return still unannounced, Gane moved into pole position after the no contest situation, and Pereira keeps teasing a jump up from light heavyweight. Aspinall has spoken on the idea before and didn't dismiss it, calling it a good stylistic matchup and saying it would be a solid fight. But his main focus is still the Gane rematch. He's made it clear he wants that one back and wants to finish that rivalry properly. This speculation has been floating around since late 2025, with names like Joe Rogan, Josh Thompson, and Michael Bisping all mentioning it as a way to keep the division moving while Aspinall recovers. Fans on social media still talk about it, but that's all it is for now, talk. Alright, let's get into what Jon Jones had to say about his current health situation.
I want to see him go against Cormier and RAF. That's what I want to see.
Are you gonna do it?
Bro,
I have severe arthritis, and most people don't know that. My left hip is covered in arthritis.
Damn.
I actually already qualified for a hip replacement.
Oh shit.
My last training camp, dude, I went to bed in so much pain.
Well, UFC gonna cover it though, 100%.
I have a 3-year-old baby boy, and I want to use what I got left with my hips, play with his ass.
Oh yeah.
Khabib Nurmagomedov says his cousin Usman Nurmagomedov is at the same level as Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan, and maybe even higher. He believes the undefeated PFL champion is operating in the same elite tier as the very best fighters at 155 in the world right now. In a recent interview with MMA team Guerrilla Fighting, Khabib broke down how much Usman has grown over the past year, physically, technically, and mentally. He made it clear that a year ago he would have been more careful with those comparisons, but today he genuinely believes Usman is fully competitive with the top of the UFC lightweight division. This also fits the bigger Team Khabib picture. With Islam Makhachev having moved up to welterweight and no longer holding the lightweight belt, the long-term vision looks obvious. Usman is being positioned as the next Dagestani force at 155. Khabib and Javier Mendez have spoken for years about molding him into a future pound-for-pound level fighter, and his PFL run backs that up. He became the inaugural PFL lightweight champion after wars with Paul Hughes, now defends against Alfie Davis in Dubai, and sits at the top of the PFL pound for pound rankings. Let's dive into what Khabib had to say.
Do you have a sense of how competitive Usman would be in the strongest league in the world at 70 kilograms against Arman, Topuria, and the other guys? I have my own opinion on this. I think it would be unethical for me to speak about a PFL fighter in a UFC context and start making direct comparisons like that. But if you look at it objectively, over just 1 year, what has happened with Usman is very clear. How much he has developed, how much stronger he has become, and how much his overall level has risen. I train with him, I wrestle with him, I work with him personally every day, so I see it up close, not just from the outside, and even from an external perspective. I truly believe Usman has grown a lot. He is competitive at that level. I believe Usman is already operating at that level. If you had asked me a year ago, I would have said we need to wait and see more, but right now, I believe he is already there. In the end, time will show everything.
Petr Yan just threw down a challenge to Ilia Topuria for a boxing match, adding a new layer to their ongoing tension. After Yan captured the bantamweight belt from Merab Dvalishvili, he made aggressive comments about his opponent, claiming he dominated and broke him completely. Topuria fired back, telling Yan to watch his words and show some respect, and now the situation has escalated further. In a recent appearance with Russian influencer Nurlan, the new champ confirmed that Dvalishvili will almost certainly get an immediate title shot, praising his 3 dominant defenses and insisting the champ fully deserves it. Yan also vowed that he would make it even more one-sided than before. Turning to Topuria, Petr acknowledged the Georgian's loyalty to his friend, emphasizing that it's natural for fighters to defend their teammates, especially in high-stakes situations where emotions run high and reputations are on the line. He also weighed in on El Matador's skills as a boxer, speaking of a potential boxing match between the two. For context, Yan and Topuria were actually once scheduled to face each other in the UFC several years ago, before Ilia even made his promotional debut, but that fight ultimately never materialized. Alright, let's dive in.
Iliasa искренность.
About the Merab fight, I was really glad that he trusted his stand-up and chose to box with me. Obviously, he is a great wrestler, but I defended all of his takedowns, so he decided to test his stand-up against me. And that is exactly what we wanted. That was our game plan. In the Trilogy fight, he will get messed up even more, because this time, I will destroy him even harder. I have him figured out. He definitely deserves the rematch, and I believe he will get it. He defended his belt 3 times. He absolutely deserves it. I also understand Ilia Topuria's nervousness in the aftermath of the fight. He is loyal to Merab, and I understand that some of his insulting comments came from his emotions in the moment. I am never surprised to hear things like that from him. I believe that as a fighter, he has very high-level boxing skills. I am a boxer myself, and if we were ever to face each other in a boxing match, he would be an extremely dangerous opponent for me. He is big and has good instincts, but we also have to take into account things like will to win and experience in boxing. I have been boxing my whole life, so why not?
Lerone Murphy is keeping things grounded ahead of his matchup with Movsar Evloev, making it clear that their fight isn't officially a #1 contender bout, at least not yet. He emphasized that in the UFC, performances matter, and while talk is cheap, someone has to go out there and prove themselves. For Murphy, the next title shot should be earned decisively, but it doesn't necessarily require a highlight reel finish. It just has to be undeniable. On strategy, Murphy called Movsar an elite fighter, but said he plans to push him to the limit, combining defensive wrestling with relentless offense. He wants to pressure Evloev, force mistakes, and hunt for the knockout from bell to bell. Stylistically, it's a classic striker versus wrestler matchup, even though both fighters have well-rounded skills, with their strengths in striking and wrestling clearly standing out. Murphy also shared his thoughts on Alex Volkanovski's rematch with Diego Lopes, stating that he believes he could have been the one to beat Alex, saying that Father Time eventually catches up to everyone and that he would have handled the fight differently. He isn't surprised by the way the Diego fight played out either. Alright, let's hear it from him.
Seeing the way the division mapped out, it was obvious that they was going to go with that fight.
Have you been told, or your management, have they been told, you win this fight, you are 100% getting a title shot? Is this going to be billed as a true #1 contender fight? It should be.
At this point, words are wind, innit? It's like the division's forever changing, and it's a performance-based company. Someone's got to go out there and put on a good fight, and nothing's concrete in it. That's what I'm trying to say. Nothing's concrete, but I hope so. I believe the matchmakers know what type of matchup this is. I think it would be unfair to say you've got to go out there and get a crazy knockout to get the title. Everybody knows what type of fight this is going to be, and what type of fighter I'm fighting against. So I think the winners should be undeniably next in line for the title. Simple.
That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.